There he is. Well, folks, welcome to today's Outdoors in the Heartland. Wow. Can you guess what we're fishing for today? Well, if you said smallmouth bass, you're wrong. We're actually headed to the mighty Mississippi River near St. Louis, Missouri, fishing with Captain Ryan for giant blue cats. So stay with us. I'm going to turn the smallmouth loose. When we come back, we're going to be fishing for big blue catfish in the Mississippi River.
Every chance I get, there's a place I go where the bass are biting as the sun hangs low. There's a feeling I get that I hope will never end. On a deep, clear lake or an Ozark stream, I kick back, relax, and I start to dream about what Mother Nature has waiting around the bend. Hey, Larry and Bob will take me there today. My gear's packed up and I just can't wait to get out on my way. Outdoors in the heartland is like coming home to an old friend. That city life is not for me. There's fun as far as I can see. The great outdoors is where I want to be. Outdoors in the heartland.
Your Quality Ford dealers present Outdoors in the Heartland with Bob Richardson and Larry Woodward. This segment of Outdoors in the Heartland is brought to you by Ford and your Quality Ford dealers. Strike King, #1 in fishing lures. Browning, the best there is. Lowrance, we lead, we find, you win. And Triton Boats, we take America fishing.
So what we're using today is some fresh skipjack, and you can go catch these below a lot of the dams on the Mississippi, the Ohio, the Tennessee River chains, and a lot of people catch them on jigs or sabiki rigs, and they make great catfish bait out here because they're very oily and bloody fish. And I usually take on my first cut, take that gut pocket right out of there, and then I'll come in here and just run that fillet on down the one side here. There we go. And then I'll just chunk a lot of this up right here. It exposes that backbone, which gives you a little extra blood, and you can see the fat on that fish. It's a real oily fish, and these catfish really like them. And that head bait, a lot of times, will catch you your bigger fish. But it's a great bait out here on the Mississippi. I like to use it usually from, let's say April on into November is a great bait for me, and even in the winter time. But a lot of times when the water starts getting a little colder, we'll go to shad.
Now for this week's Ford Go Further moment.
Well, I'm just pulling up here to my neighborhood Ford dealer. I got an F-150 with an EcoBoost in it, and it needs an oil change and general service.
Yes, sir. Oil change and service will be right on that. Here you go, sir. Your keys, oil change and service done. Thank you.
Man, thanks. That was fast. Hey, no matter what kind of vehicle you drive, service is fast and friendly at your neighborhood Ford dealer.
We're going to be using two different types of rigging. We're going to use some side rods, and we're going to use some hand rods. And on these hand rods, I'll usually run a double hook rig, or you can run a single hook rig if you're in a real snaggy area. But about an 18 to 24 inch leader, and then I use a 240-pound ball bearing swivel, and then I've got a sliding swivel here for the weight. And I'll attach a 8 to 10 ounce depending on the amount of current. Sometimes we'll even go a little lower. And then on the side rod, it's a more vertical presentation. There's a nice fish right there. It's a more vertical presentation, so we'll hang 2 hooks. And a lot of times these fish will feed up, so we'll suspend the baits. It's going down the river pretty much like this, with this going down in the current at an angle like that. and those fish will come up and hit it, and that rod will fly up a lot of times or will bury down, and it's on at that point.
For those of you who are not familiar with this, you're just a casual fisherman. Maybe you're somebody that occasionally goes on vacation to either coast or the Gulf, and you go out on a charter boat and fish for hard pull and saltwater fish. Well, this is as close as it gets in Central America in fresh water. But the neat thing about the blue catfish in this river system now is the average size is really up there, and the health of them and the number seems to be growing, wouldn't you say?
A lot of these states and areas are protecting the big cats, putting a 34-inch law on them, and they're really thriving in those areas, and we're actually reaping some of those benefits. I mean, these things travel large distances, and you know, the overall health of them are really strong. I mean, these things take a long time to get that big. There's nothing else out here that's going to eat them, so I mean, we're the only ones that are going to kill something like that. They produce the most eggs, they protect the nest the best, and you know, let the big ones go if you want to take some to eat. My rule is anything under 10 pounds, and there's a ton of those things out here. You can fill the freezer up with them.
Check out oith.com or go to facebook.com/Outdoors in the Heartland. Every week there's going to be prizes, giveaways, and contests.
This segment of Outdoors in the Heartland is brought to you by Ford and your quality Ford dealers, and Triton Boats. We take America fishing.
Well, Ryan, how long you been fishing blue cats professionally?
I'm tournament fishing and guiding for about 7 years.
And what got you started?
Well, to be honest, I've fished my whole life, but I got into saltwater fishing when I was a traveling, you know, advertising salesman. When I had my son and quit that job and moved back here, I had all this tackle, and a buddy of mine said, let's go down to the river and use some of this to go catch some catfish. And first fish was like 20-something pounds, and just smoked that rod like a tuna and just peel and drag off the bank, and it's been catfish ever since. Yep, that's a fish. There he is.
All right. Well, how big do you feel?
He's got to be pushing 20, I'd say.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice fish.
I'm just gonna reel this right with you.
That'll work.
Want me to grab the net?
No, we'll
swing him in.
Oh, hold on. This one's either getting hung up or had a fish hit it. Yeah.
You got one there too?
Yeah. Go here, I'll
well,
trade you.
You said when we get in them.
Yeah, we're in them.
You're in them.
Come on over here, buddy.
Look at that. Now that's a giant fish, but to Ryan, that's just a baby.
Yeah, that's a small one there. But there is nothing wrong with catching something like that. That's fun. That's the first one. Hopefully not going to be the biggest.
Number two right here, about
number two's on.
50 yards behind the boat on the surface. I don't think he's as big as the one you got there.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get this one back and get Larry's fish in here. And here we go. Grab him. That's about the perfect eating size. Thick, healthy little blue cat.
Oh my God, look how pretty that is.
I mean, they got all those purples and everything in there. We're gonna get him back in.
All right, let's get some more. This is one form of fishing. If you would do it a lot, you're probably gonna have to go to the gym and bulk up.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it the next day. They pull. They will straight pull.
Man, let's get some slimy skipjack in the water and start jerking on them.
You didn't have to tell me twice. Don't be afraid to expose as much hook as possible. These things are not shy. Always make sure you get the scales off the tip. That's gonna cost you a fish every time you don't. We're using 80-pound mono leader here, and we've got that directly to 80-pound Power Pro braid. How's that slack bite? Just flew right up.
You were just straight down.
Yeah, just
almost
straight.
Almost like fishing a downrigger.
Exactly. And that's what it reminds me of when they hit it and it comes up as a downrigger. What a healthy little fish. I mean, that fish is probably, you know, 7-8 pounds and just solid muscle. Try to get this hook out of him. Those Team Catfish hooks. They put a hurting on them. Just a stocky little fish right there. All right, there you go.
Well, how big a fish got to be before you go to the net, Ryan?
I'll usually net 20 plus or 25. It's a big net, and when you're using multiple hooks, it gets pretty tangled up in it, and you can usually
it becomes more of a pain in the butt to net one than not doing it.
Exactly. And but I mean, if it's somebody's biggest fish and the fishing's slow or something, you know, I always make sure we get it in the boat, so I'll use the net, but typically 20 plus pounds.
So Ryan, what made you finally make the switch from Humminbird to Lowrance?
Yeah, I've run Humminbird for years, and it's great technology, and it's a great fish finder. I'm not knocking it, but I started seeing the pictures from the down scan and the 2D and the side scan even on the Lowrances, and it was kind of a no-brainer. I had an old Lowrance LCX, and I wasn't real happy with the GPS on it, but they've got that new external puck, you know, for these units, and it enhances that GPS even better than what I had on my Humminbird. I'm real impressed with it. It's got a gyro in it, so I can tell which way the front of my boat is positioned. You know,
yeah.
It's crazy. It catches me more fish. That's why I switched.
Catching fish.
How about this one right here?
Catching fish is your business.
That's it.
How heavy?
He's not real big, but he sucked it on down like he was the man. No, oh, he got a little bigger. Way of that
He
one.
says a little bigger, but he says no net unless they're over 20. So
Yeah.
he's not hollering for a net.
I got your line too.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
we'll get him in.
Well,
All right, here.
I'm gonna tell you what, he's the better part of 20.
Oh yeah, he's a dandy.
That is why we fished and why you get all slimed up. Hey, if you've never caught, which I didn't catch this, I've got the privilege of holding him up, but I'm gonna catch one here in a minute. This is what fishing in the Mississippi River is all about. Well, don't go away. When we come back, hopefully, we're throwing this one's grandma in the boat here when we come back fishing with Captain Ryan Casey on the Mississippi River here right after this, Outdoors in the Heartland.
This segment of Outdoors in the Heartland is brought to you by Ford and your quality Ford dealers, and Strike King, #1 in fishing lures.
Here I'm holding this rod. How's it feel, Larry?
Good.
All right.
Here he comes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that guy. You slide up here now. You're a little wrapped up. Healthy creature.
Right. Probably 9-10 pounder.
Yeah, he wants to get us all. Bad as a tick.
This is something any of you all could do out here with Captain Ryan. These rods are basically in a holder. We're sitting here having lunch, you know, and you look over and there he is. Circle hook, crack, he's on there.
What do you think? We ought to get him back?
Yep.
Let's get another one.
Them are the bodybuilders of freshwater fish right there. Ryan, I can remember probably 15 years ago, my first experience with circle hooks was fishing for tarpon
Yeah?
down at St. Simon Island, Georgia. It was hard when you had a fish bite that you didn't want to set the hook. You know, it was hard to get the concept down, don't jerk, just reel.
Yep.
But the circle hook concept is so different than just smashing them. And when you are somebody that is used to doing it one way and you don't listen very good.
You're in for a lot of heartache.
Here we go.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, this is a bigger fish. I thought it was.
Nice.
Oh, I like
Nothing wrong with that
mothers.
fish.
There ain't nothing at all wrong with that.
All right. Well, they're real bad about getting us put together here today.
There's another 12, 13 pounder.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was bigger than that, but
There's your fish.
look at him, mate. He's gorgeous. Simply gorgeous.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, this one's got a little bit more meat behind him. I don't get to catch very many fish. It brings that kid out in you, you know? He might not be as big as I initially thought. I was way back there though.
You sure you got it?
Yeah, I'm positive. I'm positive. I know I've missed a few today, but I got this one.
Oh!
So, woo, they'll give you a workout. Whew.
Well, man,
That's a little more better.
you need to hold your fish. That's in the high teens for sure.
Oh yeah, that one's, I think that one might make 20 here. 22.
Well, Ryan, you put him back in the water. Folks, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be catching one twice this size. Right after this, outdoors in the Heartland.
Thanks, Larry.
You got one twice that big in there?
I think there's a few out there.
All right.
We just gotta see when we can get them.
All right, let's do it.
Outdoors in the Heartland has been brought to you by Ford and your St. Louis Ford dealers, Strike King, #1 in fishing lures, Triton Boats, We Take America Fishing, and Gilbreth's Taxidermy, the official taxidermist of Outdoors in the Heartland.
He's coming at me. There he goes. Here he
Hook this one. That's serious. I better reel this in. Took drag immediately.
Yeah. Did you see how it kind
How
of...
deep were we? 79 feet.
That's one thing you got to be careful of. You want to bring them up slow. You want to make sure you bring them up nice and easy because they got a lot of air in them they've got to get out. And if you just pull them straight up, you're going to screw their swim bladder up, and more than likely they're not going to be able to go back down. It's a good battle pulling them out of that deep water. Here he comes. Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, what'd you say? Oh, he ain't very big.
Oh no, he's a nice fish. He's not.
That's a nice one?
Yeah, that's a nice one.
All right, well, can't wait till we start getting in the good ones. Oh, it's like pulling in a 55-gallon barrel full of water.
That's a nice fish. He's 29 pounds. Yeah, that's a healthy blue cat right there. Just thick fish.
He's blind in one eye and can't see out the other.
I gotta catch him crippled and crazy. I ain't gonna get him any other way.
All right, here we'll put her back.
All right.
It's hard to describe to you just how exhausting this is. These, you know, this is like pulling a wet couch up off the bottom. And I see the leader. Look at that.
Nice fish, Larry.
Another one of them upper teens, probably.
Give me some slack here, Larry.
Well, I tell you what, this is turning out to be a pretty good day of fishing.
Come on.
Oh, you got another one. You can cook one. What'd you say? You wasn't gonna miss another one
I
today?
wasn't gonna miss another one. They are fun.
All right, predict the size of this one.
This one's gonna be 10 pounds. And I'm almost always wrong. I just don't get to fight enough of them. I was fairly close. He's a little bigger than that. He's a little bigger than 10.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going anywhere. I promise you that. I got him hooked good. When a channel cat gets bigger, he'll lose a lot of his spots and he'll get a gray color. Now these blue cats they're two-tone, you know, like a great white.
Yeah.
They're white underneath and they've got the dark, you know, gray on the top. And their anal fin has more rays in it and it's more squared off here, where channel cats has less rays and is rounded. And that's your biggest distinguishing characteristics of a blue cat versus a channel. And you know, blue cats a lot of times have those pretty pink fins like you can see there,
Yeah.
with the sun glowing in them. I mean, I'm partial, but I think they're beautiful. All right, Larry, it's time for one of your rods to just get smoked. That big fish, just get him all out the way. Well, we brought frozen with us today, frozen skipjack herring. And you know, that's a great bait if you take care of it right and vacuum seal it and you know, freeze it immediately. Put it on ice once it comes out of the water, you know, and take good care of it. That's good bait. But you cannot beat fresh that you just pulled out of the water today. It bleeds better. It's got a different firmness, a different smell to the fish. You cannot beat fresh caught bait. Oh, reel on that reel, that's a fish. That's that slack bite.
Okay.
You got him, Larry. That's a good fish. You're not gaining any ground. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. I told you was gonna catch the big one,
Finally on
Larry.
the side rod. Oh, this has got some.
Yeah.
Ryan's already grabbing the net. We haven't done that today.
I mean, he's not a giant, but it's a better fish, you can tell.
Holy. That's why you need a big net.
That's it right there, my friend. And they do get a lot bigger, but that's a nice one.
For those of you that have watched me hunt over the years, this is one of those moments right there now.
Oh yeah, he bottomed that out.
So he's 30 plus. We can't tell how big he is. Folks, if you want to go big game fishing, now I'm talking big game here. The great white of the Mississippi, you need to get with Captain Ryan Casey here. He fishes out of St. Louis area. You can catch these things right in downtown St. Louis. Hey everybody, join us next week when we jump back in our Triton 21 HP and get after some Missouri smallmouth right here, outdoors in the Heartland.